Been a minute since we've talked about what's going on in Chicago, mostly because it's just the same old, right? Everybody's dying by the dozens over the weekend, and shootings you can probably hear whatever corner of the earth you find yourself on. If you just perk an ear towards the Great Lakes, you'll be able to hear something off in the distance. So, when something like this comes along, we just, got to check up with Beetlejuice out there in the second city. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot has taken a task over city's spiraling crime. Oh, wow. Oh, who could have possibly seen that coming? By a reporter who tells her she's got a nerve to speak of running for re-election. Who could possibly be dumb enough to think that somebody of the character of Lori Lightfoot should even be running again for office? Like, what has she done that has been good for anybody within the state? Like, it's just impossible to point to anything good that she's done, okay? Pissed off the police unions, okay? She pissed off small business owners who, during the pandemic, couldn't open up their fucking shops. Okay, couldn't go down there to defend them while looting and murder was happening in the streets there as well. Making sure that maybe her neighbors, because she made sure that her neighborhood was kept safe by the private security as well as the police department, making sure that nobody was coming in and out of those areas. There's probably 15 or 16 votes right there, but Chicago doesn't get a lot of coverage on the channel here. It's more or less just the continuous failures of New York City, okay? Or every once in a while we'll head out west to take a look at what Ted Wheeler's doing with what's left of Portland, and Los Angeles is a disaster in and of itself, but Chicago is a special slice of hell. So let's do a little bit of catch up, shall we? Oh god. And I know it's been a while, but for fuck's sakes, you didn't expect a hairline to recede quite that quickly over the course of a couple months. It's fucking frightening. A reporter has told Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot that she has a cheek to talk of running for re-election, giving soaring crime in the Windy City. The journalist, only named Rob, took Lightfoot to task during a question and answer session Wednesday, saying, "Real Chicagoans are asking me, how can you even possibly consider running for re-election for mayor of the city of Chicago after all the harm you've caused?" Wow. Rob cuts deep, and he gets right to the fucking point. Lightfoot kept her cool, but is probably sending somebody to put 4 boots on Rob's car outside. I was clearly rattled by the ambush and responded, "I disagree with you fundamentally, and I don't think I need to address and dignify your comments 1 second further before moving on." No, how about soaring rates of violent crime? How about what are you doing to address that? That's the way that you could, kind of spin that. But no, instead it's like, nah, he's Rob. That's a white name, so we don't need to talk about him. Oh yeah, remember when Lightfoot was doing that too? Or maybe she hasn't reversed her policy yet, and that's just somebody acting a little too Caucasian in public. Maybe that's a citable offense in the home of the Midwest. Prior to the dig, Rob had reeled off examples of soaring crimes in the city, telling her every time you have a press conference, you say crime is down, the economy is booming. The reporter begins his question before he is disrupted by Lightfoot, who says, "Well, that's not true, but get to your questions, sir." So she was already being snippy, and that's what led up to Rob finally just airing it out for everybody to see. "Listen, you're just patently lying, stupid. Why don't you fucking take responsibility for that? I'm not answering your question. Next." Fuck's sakes. Across the street, we had a police officer on duty, the victim of a hit and run. We have Michigan Avenue, the Magnificent Mile, now referred to as the Mile of Fear, and Water Tower Place, has thrown the keys back to the lender. They say they don't want to be in Chicago anymore, he tells the mayor. Oh, that sucks. The contentious exchange comes as Chicago has experienced a slight decrease in the amount of homicides this year compared to last. Oh my god. I'm sure that's also a part of a massive trend of downward crime, right? It's because clearly Rob was mistaken. He was just pulling stats out of his ass, just trying to be a racist misogynist against this first lesbian midget mayor of Chicago, despite other crimes on the rise. Darn. Shootings and homicides are down in the city so far this year. What about shooting incidents? Oh, okay, cool. They're actually down. Oh, okay, cool. I was just gonna say, it's like maybe they're not reported. So I couldn't imagine that there's less lead flying unless there's very price conscious criminals on the south side. Anything's possible. There were 508 shootings at the end of March in March this year, compared to 582 shootings during the same time period last year. The fact that you're still dealing in the 500 shootings That's not all that great, okay? Cool, you shaved off a few dozen. Great, wonderful. There have been 128 homicides so far this year. A 7% decline over the same time period last year. Cool, so still over 100 homicides in the first quarter of the year. Great. But just taking a look at the infographic here, and you can just take that for whatever you'd like. The numbers apparently come from the Chicago police, so theft is up 69 percent, just about 3,800 instances, up from 2,200. Oh, okay, murders are down, shooting instances are down 5 and 12%. Criminal sexual assaults are slightly up by about a dozen. Robberies up 13%, and overall crime, that should be pretty important, right? Overall crime is up 36%. But there's a handful fewer murders and fewer shooting instances. Cool. What, now people are just stabbing or punching, doing strong-armed robbery instead of armed robbery? Like, what are we doing here? West Side and South Side have seen a 24% decrease in the number of people shot. I know the South Side's bad. I'm not too sure about the West Side. I think that's probably the same. Or 110 fewer than last year, accounting for nearly all of the year's decrease in shootings. Oh, okay, cool. Lightfoot has previous criticism over vowed to defund the police, then refund it as crime soared, and has also clashed with cops over imposition of the COOF vaccine mandates on the crime-ridden city's public workers. Well, the city of Gary, once regarded as the murder capital of the United States in the 1990s, saw a 15%, Gary, Indiana. I know it's like geographically close, but it's a different state as well. Saw a 15% violent crime fall between 2019 and 2020, according to an Axios report. That's nice. What did you have, a fucking word limit that you needed to hit here? Like, what are we talking about? But those numbers were only specific, and they were only up to date for the beginning of April 3rd. Okay, so what's happened recently? What are the trends, okay, heading into the second quarter of 2022? Well, over the weekend, 14 people shot, 1 dead on Friday through Sunday. So just over the past weekend there. So, hey, looks like business is booming once again. Maybe everybody's just waiting for the summer season in order to come out, okay? Maybe it's been a little bit of a cold spring and a cold winter. Nobody wanted to go outside and do their drive-bys, okay? They were just waiting for Easter, right? Maybe somebody was encroaching over a fucking Easter egg hunt or something. 14 people were shot, 1 of them fatally, Friday into Sunday morning in Mayor Lori Lightfoot, Chicago, right? But don't ask her anything about that, and she's going to run again. Oof. Previous weekend to that, 27 people were shot, 6 fatally. So I guess by those metrics, because also those shootings wouldn't have been included as well, I don't believe. Maybe everybody was just spending a little bit more time with their family, okay? It wasn't quite as bad in retrospect. So what other crime, okay? Because there's 12,000 instances of crime. Maybe this will be added to the second quarter numbers. 3 bodies recovered from Chicago Waterways in 2 days. Huh. The bodies of 3 individuals were pulled out of Chicago's waterways over the past 2 days, according to law enforcement, and 1 has been identified. Chicago Police Department said that its Marine unit recovered a body on the lake, or rather from Lake Michigan near the south side. The unidentified man was found unresponsive and pronounced dead at the 3000 block of the South Fort Dearborn Drive. Detectives are conducting a death investigation pending autopsy results. A woman's body was also discovered in the water around 11:40 a.m. on the 100 block of the North Riverside Plaza in the city's West Loop neighborhood. Oh, the south and the west side, where it's dangerous. But there's fewer shootings. There's just more bodies in the waterways. Our CPD Marine unit pulled a body from the water after she was pronounced dead at the scene. About 30 minutes later, another female body was found unresponsive in the 2800 block of South Eleanor Street in Bridgeport. Authorities identified the second woman as 80-year-old Yuet Sang. Oh, remember, Stop Asian Hate, but it's not convenient to push that hashtag anymore. So, yeah, don't worry about any of that. Don't ask any questions. Chicago is a great place full of wonderful people with great hairstylist choices. Christ almighty, that is frightening. But hey, you get exactly what you fucking vote for. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.